Welcome to Butterflies and Bows. My name is Michelle Dutrissa and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stamping Up. What I'd like to show you today is a product that I'm really excited about. It's their new watercolour pencils which they have brought out in their Occasions catalogue for 2017. The pencils come in 13 colours, they're acid free and lignin free, and they're so beautiful to work with. Now that you don't have to be a really great artist to use them, you don't even have to be a great painter. They are so simple to use. They can be used on your shimmery white paper, or they can be used with your watercolour paper. But what I found really surprising the other day when I was trying it out, it actually even worked really well on your Whisper White cardstock. But when using it on your Whisper White cardstock, there are a few tips that I would advise you to use. Don't overwork your paper. If you overwork your Whisper White paper, it will tend to ball up. So what I've done in between each layer of colour, I've let it dry. It only takes a couple of seconds, but I've just let it dry it enough so then I can put another layer on top and work over the top of it again with my blender pen. So I haven't used an aqua painter on this, I've only used my blender pen. Now Stampin' Up have also brought out their new Sale-A-Brations catalogue, and in their Sale-A-Brations catalogue they have got this fantastic paper, this new DSP, and it's called In the Lines. Now it's black and white, as you can see, and you can colour in a little bit of it, or you can colour in a lot, or you can just leave it in the black and white. It's up to you. It's not as thick as their Whisper White, but again, the same as Whisper White, don't overwork this paper. I think it will tend to peel if you overwork it. Just a couple of cards that I've done using this paper. This one here, where I've got lots of layer of colour, and this one where I've only used one layer of colour. Now just to show you how I've done both of these cards, I'll just grab a piece of the Designer Series paper. Now I've done coloured my flowers in using the Calypso Coral pencil. So just to give you an example of how I've done that, using this little flower just here, we're just going to work a small section at a time. So I'll work from the bottom because you've got a lot of shadowing from the bottom, and I'll work up. It's a type of a flicking motion, just like that, but I'll work it up that flower line there a little bit, just following the lines that are naturally in the picture. So I'm just working a little bit of it, and then I'm going to come in with my blender pen and then just bring those colours out to the edge. Doesn't matter if you have a little bit of a white area, but I'm just blending that from the bottom out. Just clean off your pen. Now what you can do from this point is, if you wanted to add a little bit of colour, let it dry for a little bit and then add a little bit more colour. So here I've just added the same colour in again. And then I'm just going to blend that out again. I'm just going to bring that up a little bit more there, so we just blend it. It's like a flicking motion. I'm not colouring it in as such, it's all over, but I'm taking the colour from the centre of the flower out and flicking it out. Now if I wanted to add a bit more colour into this, like I have done with this particular card, I've taken a darker colour, which is the rich raspberry, and I've just added a little bit extra colour. Now again, I've let it dry a little bit first, and I'm using that flicking motion again just to add a little more colour into my card. Now you don't need to add very much colour at all with these darker pencils, because a little bit will go a long way. And then again with that flicking motion, I'm just bringing that out. So then I've got my shadowing down the bottom, and I'm just bringing it out lighter at the top. Okay, just like that. Now with the centre of my flowers, I've used the Daffodil Delight, and I have used Pumpkin Pie. And all I've done with that is I've just laid down a layer of my Daffodil Delight and a little bit of Pumpkin Pie over the top. Again, not too much of the Pumpkin Pie. With the stamens of my flower, I've just taken my Daffodil Delight and just added a few dots and then again with the pumpkin pie came over the top and added a few more dots or lines. With my blender pen, I've started from the Daffodil Delight and just blending that in and taking that up to the pumpkin pie and blending the two together. Again, not overworking it. With the stamens, I'm just using a line, just blending all those colours together, but just bringing my pen down in like a dot or a line type movement. So that gives me the start of my flower. When you're doing your leaves, I've used a slightly different technique with my leaves. So I'm just going to use this leaf here. Now what I've done is I've laid down a layer of my old olive, and again I'm starting it from the edge where the shadowing is going to be and taking it up to the top. I'm not taking it all the way up, but just a little bit of the way up. Now with this I'm also going to add some brown, which is the early espresso, because leaves aren't generally all one colour, the same as our flowers aren't really. And another colour you can add to your leaf is your real red. But again, with the real red, it is a very strong colour. You only need to add just a little bit of this in. Now when I've started to use the blender pen on this leaf, I'm going to pick up the old olive first. Just make sure my pen's nice and clean. And I'm just going to bring that old olive up into there, just so then that's a nice clean green. Then when I come back into the centre, I'm mixing those other two colours with the old olive together, and again using that flicking method, just bringing those colours out. You can clean your pen off, and again just picking up that green and adding a bit more green. Now if you want to, you can always come back if you feel that you need a bit more of the green, add a little bit more into there and just bring that out again. Now, as I said, you can leave a little bit of a white area. It doesn't all have to be a solid colour. So that's how I've done the leaves and my actual flowers. For most of the stems, all you need to do is just take a pencil, the green one in this case, the old olive, and I'm just going to run it down the centre or to one side of my stem, and again with my blender pen, just blend that in. And that will just blend in beautifully. So that's all I've done really to work on my flowers, and just layered it a little bit at a time, not going too overboard with working my pen on my paper, because I don't want that paper to peel, because then all the work that I've done is just ruined. I hope you've enjoyed this video today. It's a lot of fun working with these pens, and as I said, you don't have to be an overconfident watercolour paper painter. Anyone can do it, and it is a huge amount of fun, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. If you want to know any more about these pencils, please contact me. They are in the Occasions catalogue, which can be found on my website on www.butterfliesandbows.com/blog/WP. Thank you for joining me today. Bye.